Hey everyone, I'm Anne-Marie from Hello Basque, and we are back in the kitchen this week. I'm going to attempt to make a burnt Basque cheesecake. Now I say I'm going to attempt to make because I've never actually made a Basque cheesecake before, and I've never actually tried a Basque cheesecake before. So I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go or how it's going to turn out, but thank you for joining along for the ride. So far, what I know about a Basque cheesecake, it's supposed to have like a nice burnt top to it, golden brown. It doesn't have a crust. It's baked in the pan, but like in parchment paper, which is kind of cool. The center is supposed to be kind of gooey, kind of creamy. From the pictures I've seen on Instagram, it looks like a very interesting texture. The burnt Basque cheesecake is not like the most traditional Basque food, but in recent years it's become super popular, super trendy online. So I'm gonna try to recreate the recipe myself using a recipe by Marti Buckley as the guide. She published a cookbook a couple years ago called Basque Country. It's all about Basque food, Basque recipes, and she graciously has a copy of this recipe on her blog. So I've linked in the description below the recipe that I'm using today if you want to try out yourself. I've also linked in the description her cookbook if you want to explore more Basque recipes. Hold up, Anne-Marie of the future here. On a whim, I reached out to Marti Buckley, the author of the Basque Country cookbook herself, just on a hope and a prayer that maybe she would want to be a part of this video. And lucky for us, she graciously said she did want to be a part of this video, and she actually sent a clip to include with it, basically doing a much better job explaining this cheesecake than me. So I'm gonna pass it over to Marti Buckley herself. She's gonna tell you all about this amazing cheesecake, why it's so fabulous, and then I'll be back with you to show you how I made it.
This cheesecake is a really special cheesecake, sweeping the world by storm. And what it is it's a cheesecake that originated in Basque Country. Of course, it was modeled after the New York cheesecake, which is the cheesecake par excellence, the one that the whole world knows as a reference. And essentially what the owners of La Viña did about 50 years ago was take this cheesecake and adapt it a little bit, combine a few different recipes, and they came up with their own that they started to test because they wanted to have a cheesecake in their bar. What makes it different is that essentially they took a very easy, kind of typical cheesecake recipe, eggs, cream cheese, heavy cream, and depending on who you ask, a little bit of flour. They took all those ingredients and they kind of whipped them up in a hurry, not knowing much about baking, and they threw them into a really hot oven, restaurant grade, that they use for finishing fish and for baking little filo dough pinchos. Basically threw one of the most delicate things that you can possibly bake into this really hot oven. And so what emerged was what has now become incredibly famous, which is a cheesecake that is basically burnt. So you have this cheesecake and it's kind of formed this caramelized crust that's not a crust. And you have the top, which is a golden kind of caramelized brown, verging on burnt, hence the name. And then you have the middle, which is very, if you do it right, if you pull it out of the oven at the right time, it's almost jiggly, it's almost melting by the time you cut yourself a slice. So if you're going to make this cheesecake, first of all, I really encourage you to do so because it's really simple. Second of all, if I could give you any advice, I would say, really just, on one hand, don't overthink it. It's a really easy recipe. People make it in a restaurant kitchen without space, without tools, without time. So don't be afraid of it. Whip the ingredients together. Don't overbeat them or your cheesecake will rise and then fall if you incorporate too much air. I encourage you to make sure your oven is running on hot. Make sure that it's going to create that same effect that the restaurant oven creates in La Viña. And make sure, this is probably the most important tip, when you go to take your cheesecake out of the oven, maybe check on it 5 or 10 minutes early. Make sure that it's not overcooking, because the only way really you can mess this up is to let it overcook. So you'll want to take it out of the oven when it's still a little bit jiggly. It's going to feel really wrong if you bake other kinds of cheesecakes or if you're a baker in general. But yes, you want it to still be jiggly because you're going to take it out of the oven. The residual heat is going to continue to cook the center, yet you still want it creamy in that middle part. And that will ensure that your exterior is perfectly caramelized, your kind of outer ring is kind of this more normal cheesecake texture, and the inside, the very inner part of the circle, is really kind of juicy, gloopy. It will like fall when you cut it, and that's a good thing. So I encourage everyone to bake La Viña cheesecake and see what all the fuss about the Basque burnt cheesecake is about.
Without further ado, let's get into it. What I really love about cheesecake is that I think it's pretty straightforward, but don't quote me on that. So first things first, this recipe uses an insane amount of cheese. Obviously it's a cheesecake, but I was shocked. So I got this whole big tub. This is 3 pounds of cream cheese. Because this recipe calls for 1 kilo of cream cheese. It's about 2.2 pounds. And so like this ain't cheap. I looked up how to get that much cream cheese in just like regular individual boxes. And I think the total came to like $22 to buy that much cream cheese. And that wasn't even Philadelphia. That wasn't even the good stuff. That was some like local off-brand of cream cheese. But luckily for me, I didn't have to do that. My parents, love them so much. They saved me, especially in these cooking videos. They have a membership to Costco. So they were able to get this whole 3 pounds of cream cheese for like, I think $8-9. So thank God for mom and dad. Am I right? This is more than what we need. So I'm gonna need to measure out the exact kilo we need. Of course, I don't have like a kitchen scale because weighing foods isn't really how we bake in America. We use measurements, but I do have a shipping scale that I use. I do merch on hellabasque.org, and so I use the shipping scale to calculate postage. So that's what I'm gonna use to measure out our cream cheese. And here we go. Wow, this is a lot of cheese. Wow, this is a mountain of cheese. 2.2 pounds, it says 2.25. So let's go. Is that, no, that's too much. 2.28, I will take it. Look at all that cheese. That's a lot of cheese. It's like cheese the size of my head. Cheese. The cream cheese also is supposed to be room temperature, so I was all gung-ho to make this video like 3 hours ago until I read the recipe. I was like, ugh! So, had to wait. So you're supposed to take a springform pan and grease it and put parchment paper all over it. From the pictures I've seen online, it looks like the style is to have the parchment paper overlap and kind of crease it around. So next on the agenda, we're putting the cream cheese and the sugar together. Woo! Cream cheese and sugar. Not only do we have hella cream cheese, we got hella eggs. 5 eggs this recipe calls for. So we're just adding them in one by one. And as if all that cream cheese and sugar and all those eggs wasn't enough, we got some cream to throw in there too. This is a decadent recipe. I'm getting the vibe. I'm real grateful that my family is gonna share this with me. But this, we cannot mix. No, we need to whisk in the cream. Jesus, this is a real solid block of cheese here. I see why you need the whisk. This is very delicate. I'm trying to break all this up. Guys, this is thick. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but oh, it's like heavy. Like, I need strength for this. This is intense. Good thing today was leg day, because I'm getting an upper body workout right here. Ooh, that is really creamy. Look at that. Yes. So that's all real creamy right now. So we need to thicken things up with some flour. Shout out to my mom. She's the real VIP of this video. Thanks, Mom. Not only did she come through with the cream cheese, bargain cream cheese, she also provided the hand mixer and the sifter for this video because I didn't realize how useless my kitchen was until I started making these videos. Oh, also she contributed the pan and the parchment paper. Actually, let's say like 80% of these ingredients and materials I'm using are my mom's. Gently, it says. Okay, be gentle, gentle, gentle. Being gentle takes forever though. So that's what we end up with. Very smooth. It's just liquid. Like, it's very liquidy. I don't know. It's a small miracle that all of that cream cheese has turned into this beautiful liquid. So now we're just pouring it in the pan and throwing it in the oven. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Wow. Times like these, I wish I had a spatula. Next thing on the list, gotta borrow that from Mom too next time. Yeah, I want to make sure we get all that cheesy goodness in there. Set the timer, you weirdo. Instead of talking to the camera, you should set the timer first. I know it's a burnt cheesecake, but I don't actually want to burn it. So I'm really impressed with how easy that was. That was actually really simple. Just a few ingredients, nothing complicated, nothing too crazy, just mixing them together till they're smooth and then throw it in the oven. I think now is gonna be the hardest part actually, is keeping an eye on this cheesecake and figuring out when it's actually done. Because I've never had a burnt Basque cheesecake before. I'm not super sure on the texture, and the advice is to leave it in for 50 minutes and then check on it and see if it looks all golden brown on top and a little jiggly in the center. That's what we're looking for. So wish me luck. But I'm also a little nervous because I realized the recipe asks for a 10-inch pan. I only have a 9-inch pan, and you saw that cream cheese mixture level, that batter was like way at the top there. So it'll be okay. We'll check back in 50 minutes, see what's going on. It smells like cheese in here. Oof, I'm so nervous. Let's see what's going on. Okay, thank God it has not totally spilled over, but it's getting there. That still looks a little white to me. Like the pictures I've seen online, it's like really like a dark brown, a burnt Basque cheesecake. So I'm gonna leave this in the oven for maybe another 10 minutes. Come and check back on it, see what's going on. But so far so good. Like it hasn't spilled over. It's not overcooked, clearly. So let's give it another 10 minutes. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes for a grand, okay. It's been another 10 minutes, grand total of 60 minutes in the oven. What's going on now? Ooh, oh no, that is rising. Marti Buckley, if you're watching this, I really wish you were here so you could tell me, is this done? Like, it looks like a nice golden brown. It looks like it's soft in the middle. Let's try jiggling this thing. Oh, wow. I don't even need to try to push it. That was really jiggly. Oh no, is it supposed to be like this? I think so. I mean, that looks burnt right there on the end. Like that looks like what we're looking for. Maybe for the middle, I'm gonna leave it in for like, oh Jesus, that makes me so nervous. It's like a souffle. I'm gonna leave it in for like another 2 minutes. Lord, I don't know why this is so stressful. But I'm gonna take a chance and leave it in for another 2 minutes and see what that does. Okay, so it's been another couple minutes. I think it's looking good. I think this is like a good amount of brown. It's still jiggly in the middle, but maybe not as distressingly jiggly. So I'm gonna take a chance and say that this is done. I think this is a two-hand job. This is some really precious cargo here. I don't wanna risk dropping it. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. That was super jiggly. Awesome. So this is what we got. This is what we got. Ooh, the parchment paper is nice and browned. So is the cheesecake. I think what's happening here, do you see? I don't know if you can tell, like it's kind of puffing up a little bit. And I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's because I used a pan that's maybe too small for the number of ingredients that are in here. Hey, as long as it tastes fine, I don't mind. We did it, guys. We made a Basque cheesecake. It smells really good. I'm really excited to eat this. I mean, look at this masterpiece. I haven't even tasted it yet, and I can see why this is popular on Instagram. Like, it's beautiful. It was really fairly simple to make. And if it tastes good, I mean, we got ourselves a winner. Unfortunately, we gotta wait for it to cool. The recipe says you gotta serve it at room temperature, so I think we're gonna be waiting here for a while because this is a lot of cheese. It's a very thick cheesecake. It looks so good. So we're just gonna wait, and I'll check back in with you guys later and see how it turned out. Hey guys, we are back. It is much later in the day. It is evening. I just had dinner, which is really regrettable because I want to eat this cake, and I'm going to eat this cake because I think it's room temperature now finally. Like, the pan is still hot, but I'm not waiting until tomorrow, okay? It's been like a good 4 hours, so I'm going to try it. First things first, this is a springform pan, so they say you need to take off the sides of the pan, kind of let the cheesecake breathe. How do I do this? Oh, it's been a long time since I used a springform pan. Wow. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right. We're in business now. So, woo, popping off the side. That parchment paper. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, it's still, oh wow. If this were an ASMR channel, like, ooh, listen to this sound. Ooh, it still jiggles. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's still jiggling. I'm just gonna have a little piece here to try it. Ooh, that is creamy. Why am I not surprised? I'm just really praying that this stays together. I try to lift this up. Oh, wow. Ooh, oh, look at that. Can you see that? It's like a hunk of cheese. Of course. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited and terrified at the same time because I've been wanting to try this cheesecake for so long, and I'm not sure about the first Basque cheesecake I try as my own. I don't know how authentic this is going to be, but like, I think the texture is right. Like, it's still kind of jiggly and it's still a little soft in the middle. Maybe, I think I've seen it gooier online, but this looks okay to me. I think I was scared to have it too gooey, but like, look at that. It's on the plate. Like, it's still kind of pudding-ish. Yeah, kind of like a custard. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's just like sugary cheese. Like, in a good way, you know, because the ingredients were so simple. It's like super creamy, super smooth, sweet, but like not too sweet. Maybe because I'm American, like I'm used to really, really super sweet desserts. So like this is manageable for me. Wow, I'm a big fan of this. This is really good. It's like a baked cheesecake, obviously, but it's really cool because like the inside is, I mean, I don't know, you saw it. Like it's custardy. Like it's smooth. It's not totally intact. It just melts in your mouth is what it is. Like, I'm used to eating like chilled cheesecakes, you know, which can be really refreshing. But this is really cool. It tastes like a cheesecake. It looks like a cheesecake, but it's, I think Marti Buckley in her blog post described it as like a mix between a cheesecake and a flan. And I think I see the connection with the flan just in terms of like the jiggliness of it. The texture maybe is flan-esque, but this is 100% obviously a cheesecake because it's just hella cheese. Oh, I don't want to think about how much cheese in this. Sugar, cream, a little bit of flour, like super simple. That's delicious. I wish I could share this with you guys, but you'll just have to go make your own because this is amazing. Like, people have asked me over the years, like in the US, where to find a Basque cheesecake. Like, are there restaurants, bakeries? Like, where in the major cities can they find Basque cheesecakes? And so I've done Google searches, like found a couple restaurants here and there, but it's not a really common thing out here in the US at least. Oh my gosh. And so I'm here to tell you, I guess my cheesecake enthusiasts, that this is so easy to make yourself. Like I am not the best baker, and honestly before this video I don't think I'd made a cheesecake in like 10 years. I went through a phase 10 years ago where I was trying all sorts of different cheesecake recipes, but it's been a really long time, and I was able to put this together in an afternoon. Like even mixing the ingredients, because I had a hand mixer, it only took like 15-20 minutes, maybe an hour in the oven. I think the longest time was just waiting for this thing to cool down to room temperature. But my God, it was worth the wait. Oh man, it's so rich and just so good how creamy it is. Like it just slides down your throat, if that's not too creepy to say. And I thought like the closer I got to the edge, that like the more solid it would get. And I guess it kind of is on top, like around the more burnt, the browned top of the cheesecake. It's like a little closer to maybe like a New York cheesecake consistency, but the rest of it along the bottom, like everything is still super, super smooth. So I'm a big fan of this. I feel like next time, when this is all over, next time I have a party or something I'm invited to, I'm bringing a Basque burnt cheesecake, because this is so easy, so delicious. And I think the best part about it is it's like familiar. Obviously it's a cheesecake. Like people know cheesecake. They like cheesecake. It's not like showing up to a party with a gâteau basque and people are like, what is this? Oh, it's an almond cake? Oh, how exotic, you know? It's like a really accessible, easy thing to make. And the best part about it, I feel like this is the lazy man's cheesecake, because didn't have to do a crust. There was no graham cracker crust you had to crush up and put together and let it sit in the refrigerator. Like none of that. It was just pure filling. Like the best part of a cheesecake is what this is, essentially. It's just pure cheese and sugar. Oh my God. Guys, if you like cheesecake, you have to try this. Go to the link. It's in the description. Check out this recipe. Idiot proof. I mean, I figured it out, so I think that's saying something. And I'm so grateful. My family is going to help me eat this because, oh, Lord, I don't want to even think about how many calories are in this. But I wonder, can you freeze cheesecake? I feel like I've seen cheesecakes in the freezer section. Not that I'm going to, not that I want to, but I'm just thinking like, this is a lot of cake. What would you do with it? So I'm going to go, it's too late now. It's nighttime basically. But I think tomorrow I'm going to go drop off whole chunks of cheesecake with my friends and family, because I do not trust myself in the house with all of this cheesecake. 10 out of 10, would recommend. It's phenomenal. I would do it again. And honestly, I think I did a good job. Like, I don't think I really severely messed anything up. But to be fair, like this is, like I keep saying, this is the first time I've had a Basque burnt cheesecake. So is it like La Viñas and Donostia, San Sebastian? I don't know. I still haven't been. But it's more than good enough for me. This is phenomenal. So, kudos to the chef. I'm usually a really big pig when it comes to cakes. Like, I will cut myself off massive slices of cake. No problem, especially chocolate cake. But I am very happy with that little sliver I just cut off. Like that, this is super rich. Like, this is not the type of cake where I would just like dig in. Like, this is, that's more than enough. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for coming along on this cheesecake journey with me. If you have ideas of other Basque foods you want me to try cooking, if you have recipes you want to share with me, I'm very happy to check him out. If you want to check out Marti Buckley's blog posts where this recipe came from, and also her cookbook where this recipe comes from, all of that is linked in the description below, so check it out. I wish you all the best in your culinary endeavors. If you clicked on this video hoping to make this cheesecake one day, if you're happy with just watching me make it, that's fine too. Because I'm very glad to have had this video as an excuse to make this, because this is amazing. It's a cheesecake I've been curious about for years, and I'm so glad that I finally tried it out. Oh, excuse me. Whew. I need to lie down after this. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos about the Basque Country, Basque culture, Basque cooking, like this is kind of something I'm doing these days, subscribe to the Hella Basque YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.